So this is a newsletter I get, and it's about writing. It's about business writing. Very simple, beautiful newsletter. But I love the guy's takes. So he sent this over today, and I thought it'd be interesting. He's talking about polls, and he goes through it, and it's really about looking at polls like polling error, polling bias, good events for Trump, bad events for Biden, advertising, October surprise, and legal maneuvering. He comes to the conclusion, you got to vote if you're registered. If you're not registered, it's probably too late.
Yeah, yesterday was the last day to register in New Jersey.
So that's something I'd love to see what Jonathan thinks about it. Get it started. Also, another thing we can talk about is COVID testing.
Yeah.
Professor, what website is that? I'm trying to pull it up.
I'll put it in the chat.
Okay.
Amaya, if you want to save that link as well, and whenever we put this on the video section, we can put it in the description box in case anyone wants to check it out.
Oh my goodness, Kenny Lowe is here.
Yes.
Who is that guy? Nancy's here. Hello, Nancy.
Hi, Professor.
Good to see you.
Good to see you too.
Hello, Nania.
Yes, for a little bit.
All right, if y'all turn off your cameras, I'm going to turn on mine.
Also, Jared, this is our advisor for the Equinox, Professor Krochmal. Jared is
Hi,
a
Jared.
beta talk, the president.
So good to meet you in virtual person.
You too.
Seems to
Sorry,
be
I have a cold right now, so it hurts to talk.
Is that the Lions Pride Inn? Your background? World of Warcraft?
Maybe. No one's noticed it before.
Hello, Nancy.
Oh, yeah. Goldshire. Oh, good job.
So I don't know, Jonathan, if you checked out that link and wanted to talk about that at all, but what are you?
I'm waiting on Professor Krochmal to give me the link.
It's in the chat.
Oh,
He sent it to me privately. I was like, it was sent. No, just to me. It's okay. There we go. Now everyone has it. Still trying to figure out the Zoom role. It's okay.
yeah, we'll probably figure it out by June.
Hopefully there's a vaccine by then and we can get lives back to normal.
So what have you guys heard on campus about things like things? What are people talking about?
The fact that we're probably going to be online next semester, I know, is a big conversation. My one roommate is a radiography major, and she has to go into the hospital right now for clinical, and they basically told them that they don't know if they're going to be going in for their winter session that they normally have to do, and they have no idea what's going to happen for spring. So she's like, that's real great because that's whenever I'm supposed to actually be starting getting practice doing it. So
Poor Mimi.
yeah. Her name is Emily, but she has a niece that calls her Mimi, so everyone calls her Mimi.
What else?
The email today with the update of the COVID cases, how did everyone feel about that?
People are doing what they should be.
I didn't know about it until the article came out.
That's what I meant to say.
I found out from you guys.
I'm interested in the consequences.
Yeah.
The only thing I know from an anonymous source is that it was a party at the baseball house, and somebody got COVID. I'm pretty sure, I'm guessing this is the freshman baseball house because I have baseball players who have told me that the freshmen at a baseball house off campus, and they're just ruthless and don't listen. Not like ruthless in the matter, but they just don't listen. Like they do whatever they want. So
Wait, there are multiple baseball houses?
according to well, I mean, I work at school on campus. I'm at Riverside Cafe. Just checking
So
campus
just
clear.
to
So
interrupt
go
for a
ahead.
second, do realize this is being
Yes, it
recorded,
is.
Yeah.
so don't lose your
Yeah.
focus.
So, I mean, I've just heard baseball players mention to me that there are two separate houses. I'm gonna keep them anonymous, but they've just told me there's a freshman house, and I don't know what happened to their original house they had last year, but I know the one freshman baseball player's parents rented a house, and they moved in off campus. So I don't know if it's that house or it's the other house, if they still have a house, but someone got COVID, and then that went to multiple teams that were there at the party as well. That's all I know.
There's an off-campus house for baseball. I don't know whose house it is or who rents it, but I do know there is.
Yeah.
But that's definitely an easy way to
Much for a bubble.
Yeah. Jared said in the chat that he also found out
So-
Equinox. I think that we did get on that story very quickly, so
Yeah.
good job to everyone who worked on that.
Naps.
Oh, let's see how that puppy's doing.
So, pretty interesting article.
Yeah, what are your thoughts on it, Jonathan?
I think, well, apparently, like, I guess the day that they posted it was today, and I was just looking on social media, and came across a Georgia poll that came out with Biden ahead by 7 points, which is enough to move the race to 50-50 rather than a Biden at 45%. So that was the one interesting change that came up, I guess, after this article was posted. But yeah, I think it's basically my views is I put a little bit of faith into both models. I guess like I put more faith into the 538 model instead of the economics model. Just because the 538 model is a little bit more conservative, like saying like there's a little bit more uncertainty in this election with a lot of mail-in ballots. Let's say there's a lot of ballots gets thrown out, not counted. That can cause one candidate to overperform their polls, or maybe they have a lot of maybe Biden gets a lot of mail-in ballots, and then Trump doesn't have that gets 5% drop off in in-person votes. Like let's say you're gonna say I'm gonna vote in person on November 3rd, and then you end up not doing that. So there's a little bit of uncertainty in both ways, and that can be one reason why the polls can be off or can have like one kind of polling error. One thing about they noticed is about October surprise. It happens about every election. The last October surprise was a mix between like the Hollywood actor scandal and then the Comey letter from Clinton. This year, so much news going on. Like there's about 20 days until the election, and you have news coming out every single day. Like you have the Trump tax return story, the Supreme Court vacancy with Beta Ginsburg's death, Trump got COVID, the debates. There's like so much going on, and there hasn't been really an effect on Biden's polling over the past 2 months. So this has been a really stable election. So I'm guessing like, I guess the 13% right now for that Trump has is the fact that there's 20 days until the election, so he can still try to narrow the race, and he can still do that. There's another debate. There's still news that could impact what people think. and if there's a big polling area that swings in Trump's direction, more than 2016 though.
I wanted to know your thoughts on the mail-in ballot thing, because something that I had read this week was to make sure you look at the signature that's on your driver's license, especially if you're like a younger person, to make sure that you can match it as close as possible to the signature on your mail-in ballot, because that's one way that they're going to make mail-in ballots like invalid, is if your signature doesn't match almost exactly.
Yeah, and I think I'm guessing my signature doesn't match exactly all the time. It changes. And I personally never had an issue. Like I voted mail-in ballots in the past, almost all but one election I voted by mail-in ballot, and so I had to use his signature. But I guess that's one way of having a ballot invalidated, because like we just make sure that you get as close as it can enough. I think New Jersey wise, we're definitely one of the better states to protect against invalidating ballots. So no, like for example, in Pennsylvania, they have the secrecy ballots where like you put it in the a secrecy envelope, and then you have to put your secrecy envelope in your regular envelope and send it in. Otherwise, it won't get counted. So like, there's definitely other states where mail-in ballots have more requirements and maybe make it more likely for it not to get counted. But for New Jersey, like, I guess my suggestion is practice your signatures and see if it matches before you kind of do it officially on the ballot.
I thought that was like interesting, especially because like we're a generation that wasn't really taught cursive like as much as the older generations were in school. So I feel like my signature is like super inconsistent, like compared to like whenever I first signed my driver's license to like now 4 years later. I'm also from Pennsylvania originally, so like the whole mail-in ballot process is a little different than New Jersey's, but
And also, it's like if the worst thing comes to worst, like I think the best part about the system that we have now is everyone gets a mail-in ballot in New Jersey. No matter, like, if you register the voter, you automatically get a ballot. You can send that ballot in, but let's say you want to double check and make sure absolutely that your vote gets counted. Like if you decide to go ahead and vote in person at the polling place, we're not doing the machine ballots. We're doing provisional ballots, and that's to make sure that once they get the mail-in ballots, someone doesn't vote twice. So even if you go ahead and say vote by mail and then go ahead and vote in person on the provisional ballots, your vote will count. It'll just count once.
makes sense.
It's like a good security check.
I know in Pennsylvania, my one friend was freaking out because her mail-in ballot hadn't come yet, and they said that like it was sent like 2 weeks ago, which mine hasn't come. Mine came in the mail a few days ago. I had to call the county clerk. It was a mess, but
And that's why you have to like bug them every single day until you get it.
Yep.
Because I think we forget, like, these people are human. They make mistakes, they make errors. It's the human thing to do. So like we learn and we make mistakes, but we learn from them.
So guys, while we're here, and it's just family right now, and Jared, who now becomes a member of the family and will be assigned to write stories. Sorry, Jared, but that's the way it works.
But I'm illiterate.
That's all right. You draw
name's
pictures.
Jared. He never learned how to read.
We'll take a nice graphics too, so no problem. Work with you. We should experiment with things that we can do on election night or the next debate, like I've been doing with these whiteboards, annotating the screen. Jonathan's got good stuff. We should play around as long as it's us. How can we do things?
I'm so excited about election night. Look, at least like doing it on the Equinox. It's gonna be so much fun, and definitely the third debate too.
What should we prepare for election night?
What?
What should we prepare for election night?
I think.
Oh, go ahead, Jonathan.
You can go.
Okay. I really liked the Instagram live that we did last time. I had a lot of fun doing that. I don't know if anyone who tuned in had fun watching it, but I had a lot of fun doing it. And I think that like seeing reactions, Anthony saying he liked it, I think that that was like kind of interesting to see, like, you know, what I was thinking. And the team can get on there. It was a really good way for us to communicate as well if we decide not to do like a Zoom platform like this with like a town hall. But that can be decided. Go ahead.
Ooh, I can join your live? Oh snap, that's gonna be trouble. I'm muted. I keep doing that. I mute myself and then start talking. Let's pose for Instagram stories. One. Oh wait, hold on. Crap. 1, 2, 3.
For the general election night, I think it's definitely going to be a smaller night, a small coverage than the debates. It's going to be It's going to be a long time until we find out the votes.
Yeah, the live blog will definitely be a slower pace because with the debates, we're trying to get as much information as possible that
Yeah,
candidates are saying.
this one, the election night is going to be more like, it's going to be slower than the debate night, but it's going to be either more impactful or it's still going to be fast paced because some places count the votes really, really fast versus other places where it takes literally an hour to count one vote.
So, what kind of coverage do you want to do as far as the election goes? I know we are planning on doing the live blog. Did you think that having Nadia was really helpful? I know that she had a class tonight until like
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, I definitely like that she was like pulling quotes out, and we could put that on there as well as like your thoughts and opinions. I also thought the jokes about the fly were.
I missed that. I'm so upset that I missed it because the guy was writing stuff, and then I was checking Twitter, and I kept seeing memes about fly, and like, what did I miss?
Yeah, that was funny. How did we feel about the tweeting from the last debate? I know that Amaya helped Nania a lot with that.
It was hard keeping up with it because that Kamala.
Let me ask Nania to talk about that aspect of it, the tweeting aspect.
I thought it was a lot of fun, like taking the information from the website and putting it into Twitter and being able to retweet other people's tweets and like different comments. My fingers were hurting a little bit because I was trying to stay with the information.
How do we take it to the next level, Nania? How
I'm
do you
guessing like
engage our audience on Twitter and make them want to come back?
maybe by interacting with them more, like answering comments this time.
You probably have time to do that. I wonder, Amaya, can you pull up the commercial we have for the Equinox? Kenny came in, made an appearance, and left, didn't he? He's like,
Yeah.
yo, what up? See you guys.
So Kenny.
That's how Kenny does it.
Yeah, bye. He wanted to go to that bar, the virtual place that Jared's at. Interacting more. Ideally, what I would love to do is be able to have something on this screen. It's either Instagram Live and we feed into it, or something like this. I think Instagram Live would be better because it goes broader. This is closed. Instagram Live is open to the world.
Yeah.
We have to figure out how to make the technology work where we can have, like, hey, Nancy, you're reporting from our bureau in beautiful Hackensack. Tell us what's going on there tonight. And that would be your cue, Nancy.
I don't know what to say.
I mean, I was gonna say Periscope has some good live streaming with my sports internships. I know we used to go live after every Yankee game, and Periscope was a way to share like a video or a doc very easily.
Periscope works well with Twitter.
Yeah.
Okay, this
The
is
reason we did the Instagram Live was because we had a lot of coverage on Twitter, but we didn't have as like much of an interaction going on Instagram for the first presidential debate. So I thought that like doing something on Instagram would be, and Amaya and Professor K and I talked about it and thought that, you know, that would be a fun way. So if we can find something that would work to like have people come in, I know people can join an Instagram Live. So maybe we have like special guests throughout the night from the Equinox, maybe a professor that hops on at some point. That could be fun. This is our commercial.
okay. I'm gonna play it.
We'll have to tell Jonathan when you invite the professors, we'll have to tell them we're going to publish their names
The
even if
Equinox
they
is a
don't go.
student-run newspaper at the FT.
My bad. Can I play it?
Re-rack.
I'm trying to take this stupid thing out the side, but it's not letting me.
Don't worry about it.
The Equinox is a student-run newspaper at the FT Metropolitan campus, but we are much more than that.
The Equinox is getting out of your comfort zone.
The Equinox is making connections. The Equinox is building your resume.
Equinox is a learning opportunity.
The Equinox is a team.
And most importantly, we are a family.
The newsroom is really a place we can all call home.
I joined the Equinox thinking I only read a few articles, but I gained a group of people who only want the best for me.
As cliche as it sounds, it really is a family. There's always someone I can count on.
I just love that Kenny had the thing in the background.
He really did the most, but in a good way.
All right, we got to play that more frequently.
Yeah, we're gonna have to. I'll post it on YouTube, and then we just make it our little ad. Just post it everywhere.
Do you think that maybe if we plan to do like a schedule, even for the next debate, of like people who can hop on the live with me on Instagram, that could be really fun. Obviously, Jonathan will be writing and so will Nadia, but maybe we have Nancy hop on at some point, and maybe we have Professor K hop on at some point. Maybe we have Anthony hop on at some point, or Jen, or we have people on our staff that could jump on and say their thoughts of what's going on and that kind of thing. And then also during election night, maybe we can just like have some people that come on periodically. We could like make a schedule of who's going to come on when.
Let me ask, while we have Jarrett, you can reply in the chat if you want to. What would interest you? What do you think would interest the community, Jared?
I don't know. That's a good question.
That's what I do, man.
I guess community interaction is always a good way, but people are during this whole quarantine and online school, people aren't as willing to interact as they used to be, if we're being honest.
Really? That's interesting. People are tired. They just want to hang out.
I can honestly say that's true. Even for me, like Zoom is the last place I want to be if I have like a day full of classes. So I get that.
I think Jonathan hit the nail on the head this afternoon on Twitter when he said, when the student asks, "Professor, will you repeat that?" Nobody's listening.
Yeah. He's right.
Yep.
My roommates will be in the kitchen like cooking dinner and have her laptop sitting there while her professor's talking because they don't require her to have her camera on. It's like that sometimes, especially for those long classes that are like 2.5 hours. Like I luckily don't have any this semester. I don't think I could do that.
I've laid in bed during class and have fallen asleep with my camera off.
Here we have the confessions.
If we're confessing, I developed the most genius thing ever. Watch this. It is a video background that looks like it's me. Let me turn my video on. There you go. It looks like I'm sitting there looking at the screen. But in reality, I'm not.
Oh my god!
Because I have a lot of 2.5 hour classes. Sometimes I gotta go make that are like from 5 to 8 or something. So I gotta go make dinner. I throw this on so I don't get yelled at for a few minutes. You know.
I love that.
I think I
900
might need
IQ.
to make me one of those.
Yeah, I need one.
Jared, you got a business there, bro.
I'm gonna tweet you something, Professor.
All right, sorry,
Okay.
Yeah, Nania, that's a tweet. Throw that on the Equinox Instagram.
Nancy says Ferris Bueller for the 21st century.
Professor,
I love it. Yes.
did you get the? I tagged you in a tweet.
I don't even know if there are.
You put it in the chat to me
I tagged you
or
in
email. You tagged me.
Yeah, it was
Got
just
you.
a big news story.
Where am I looking?
Wait, okay. Okay.
Hello.
Right here.
Where is that?
I tagged you in it on Twitter.
Oh, okay.
It's
Let me go to
on,
Twitter.
it says breaking news on from the New York Times on February 24th. The Trump's economic team privately addressed the Hoover Institution and implied that a COVID outbreak could prove worse than advisors were signaling to the public. Aides appeared to be giving wealthy party donors an early warning.
Wow. Hold on. Let me say, I'm going to share my screen that has that on it. It's right here.
We love TweetDeck.
Yeah, oh, definitely. And on election night, certainly Nania should be on TweetDeck and have things set up. We got to think about, we should have a hashtag.
Oh, definitely.
And we should be using, this might be a way to share things. I'm going to think about it. I've organized these things before. I used to have an app called Cover It Live. And Cover It Live would allow you to embed and do a lot. I'll do a little research and see if I can find a tech setup that might be great. Joe Amditas uses an app called ManyCam, where he's able to kind of like a broadcast control. Ashamir, hello, welcome, good to see you.
Yes, Ashamir just joined us.
Sorry about that. It's a little late.
We're talking
No worries.
covering the next debate and the election and what kind of things we can do to make our coverage more impactful for the student body. I definitely think that we really kind of like struggled with the first debate. Not necessarily that like it was bad, because it wasn't. Like we did really great, but moving forward, I think we definitely during the VP debate kind of realized like the formula that we needed, and now we can perfect it going into the third debate and election night. What do you think that they're going to do for the third debate? That's my question, because they were talking about doing a town hall for the second one where like people could ask questions. Jonathan, do you have any thoughts on that?
I know there's two different town halls tomorrow night at the exact same time. One in ABC and one in NBC.
We love that.
For the third debate, I'm not sure. I think it's either going to be a town hall or the way that it was in the first setup. I would like a town hall. Actually, wait. Actually, I don't mind. I don't really care. It's fine either way.
I think that a town hall would really put the candidates on the spot.
Yeah, but the way with the original setup is more more interesting and entertaining.
Yeah. I definitely would like to see, like, if they do it, like, the first debate, how they, like, change the rules. Like, because there has been discussion about, like, the moderator, like, being able to mute the mics or, like, the tech people or whatever. So I think that would be interesting to see, like, how they change the rules if that is the format that they go with to try and make it less of a chaos session than the first one was, because it was very chaotic and kind of hard to follow. I don't think that anyone really got any good information watching it because you didn't really know what people were talking about most of the time. Anyone else have thoughts on what they would like to see for the next debate? Just like hopes.
I want Trump to talk about his COVID case. Just like honestly, like from him, like what he experienced as a person. I mean, we know some of the symptoms as defined by you know, doctors and people who've experienced COVID, but like I want to know what he has to say about it. Like, will he stop downplaying it now that he's experienced, you know? And you know, all that interesting stuff.
I just thought it was interesting, like, while he was in the hospital for COVID, like, the tweets that went out. I don't know if anyone else was watching Twitter while he was in the hospital, but some of them, like, did not make any sense.
Do you mean the one where he said his DNA test came back? He doesn't have DNA, he has USA?
Yes. Like, I just...
Ba-dum-bum-bum.
He might have been a little wacky on the stuff they were giving him.
Ashmir,
I just thought, you know what else I would like to see? Memes. Like, straight up, I want to meet live debate memes.
Live
That'd be amazing. Yes, like the fly. Because there's gotta be funny stuff that happens. There's always funny stuff. It's Donald Trump.
That is a brilliant, brilliant suggestion. Who do we have that does memes?
I honestly feel like
crickets.
I feel like we could get someone on that though. Like I feel like that's a skill that someone could acquire.
I mean, there's always memes on Twitter you can always find. They're all over the place.
But I think it would be really funny if we just had like Equinox memes going out. Like during the debate. We'll have to figure that out. Maybe that'll be a Nancy thing. Maybe Nancy will become our meme specialist. Yeah. I think you could do it.
I feel like that would be great for a resume. Just, I was the meme specialist for the Equinox.
Memes.
Entertainment editor and meme specialist.
Yeah.
You guys
I
hearing
think
that?
Kenny and I.
You think Kenny and you should do it too?
Yeah.
Can you guys hear that?
Yeah.
Those are sound effects. I was going to write a story about the debate, but then it was like a week after, and everything, there's so much new stories coming up, so it was kind of irrelevant. But this was going to be the headline of the story that I was going to write. But that's kind of like a meme.
Yeah, I literally was sitting there on Instagram Live and I was like, yo, Twitter's gonna be blowing up in like 2 minutes about this fly. And then there was the account made. Like literally I said it and people were sending me this account and I was like, this is great. I love this.
People are so fast with the memes. I don't know how they do it so fast. Even like the account, like how did someone do it that fast?
I honestly, there's just people out there that like live for that kind of stuff though. So that's like, that's it. That's what they do. I think Nancy, I think you and Kenny should be our meme specialist if you can get Kenny on board.
Yeah. I'm definitely going to talk to him.
This is going to be a whole thing to add you guys to the debate team chat. Look at us. That was a great idea. Thank you, Jared. I think that the FTU community needs that in their lives. So, Ashmir, I wanted to ask, is there anything that you would like to see? Because I know that we did the debate coverage for the first presidential one and then the VP debate. The second one we did an Instagram live while live tweeting and doing the live blog updates. Is there anything like as a student or just like as a person in general that like you think that people our age would like want to see?
Like in regards to like activity, like because I know last time we did the live the IG live, right?
Yeah.
I think I don't know if it's possible, but maybe like a debate watch party, like with everyone on Zoom.
We actually discussed that. We also discussed possibly doing like a watch party the night of the election.
Yes, I think that would be very, very good. A watch party on the night of election, and then maybe like a watch party for like the final debate or the town hall.
I think we could build on what we did on Instagram Live and just bill it as a watch party.
Definitely.
And get your roommates involved. They have to be wacky and nutty.
They all like got shy whenever I went on Instagram Live. I was like, you guys can talk. It's fine.
I mean, that's the reality of what we've been doing for the last 7 months. It's been real life.
I
Why
really
not jump on that and take advantage of it?
I had a friend Nick over that night and he fell asleep on the couch and I really wanted to like shoot him, but I knew he would have been so mad. So I didn't put him on, I didn't expose him on the live that he fell asleep during the debate. I'm exposing him now though, so it's okay. No one here knows him.
I forgot to mention this, but the one thing I feel really bad for, like during the first debate, particularly, is those people out there that was playing drinking games, like the shot games.
My roommate was people. They weren't doing the shot ones, they were doing like take a sip, but they all are 21 except for me, so.
Yep, because there's definitely going to be some like that during the election night. I can tell you that.
Oh, I'm sure of it.
Wouldn't it be awesome if we could get, like, you have the reactions on Zoom? Every time we hear that take a shot, we could flash it on the screen. And instead of Jonathan having a map showing, well, Pennsylvania's now gone to, drum roll, you could say, take a shot. Anyway, that's my idea. Zombie growl. Okay, that was not good. It went over. Nobody made any faces. I got like 65 different kinds of zombie growls, and none of them work.
I'm sorry, everything froze for a second, so I have no idea what you're saying. I just heard zombies, and I was like, I don't know what's happening.
All of a sudden, you come in and it's zombies. What has happened?
Can you repeat what you said, please? Because I have no idea what this conversation is.
See if you can hear this.
That one was pretty convincing.
That was sound effects.
I didn't know you
cowbell.
sound effects.
I'm sorry?
I didn't know you mastered sound effects.
You know, I can do many things that nobody knows.
Good gravy.
Also, I DM'd FDU on Instagram about our live coverage of the debate, and they did not answer me back nor share that. So I'm kind of offended.
Also, if we decide that we're doing like a watch party type thing, officially, we can discuss this with the debate group and like with everyone at the general meeting to see everyone's thoughts. But I know that if we at FDU Student Union and I text Mr. Mills, that he'll get it reposted on there for us. As well as he was very excited to send the information out to all the Greeks about this tonight. So if we have it even more in advance, I'm sure we could get even more people to attend.
I agree, and we editor's notebook should include the fact that FDU refuses to interact with the Equinox on Twitter and Instagram.
Okay. That's the tea.
What do you guys think of the idea that on election day, universities should be supportive of people's efforts to vote, i.e., classes and that kind of thing?
Also, just to put this out there, FDU is saying that it's the person's responsibility to reach out to their professors to get accommodated if they have to go somewhere to vote, or like they won't be able to like attend class because of it. Since we are virtual and this is a major mail-in election, was the reasons I was given for that. But how, like, anyone else's? I saw you shaking your head, Nancy. Like, what do you think about that?
Well, like you mentioned earlier, it should definitely be, we should have the day off on election day. Yeah.
We should have some
One
sort of...
of my professors is giving the opportunity, if everyone guarantees to vote, he'll cancel class on election day, yeah.
But shouldn't it, rather than coming from the bottom up, it should be from the top down? That's certainly an issue I would put before you to, as the staff. Is that something we can support as the staff, that we'd like the university to take a stand? What do you think, Ashamir and Jared, as watchers?
What was the question? Like,
Do we think that the university should be either one, like canceling classes, or like accommodating students on election day so that they can go and vote?
I definitely think there should be some sort of accommodation or a cancellation, but given the circumstances of this particular election, it's so convenient to vote than ever before. I believe that because you can your ballot is being mailed to you and you just have to fill it out and then send it back. Which I don't think has ever. So more people have access, I feel, this year. But moving forward, I definitely think it should be a federal holiday. Just and or some accommodation made, because young people don't really vote that much, I feel. So like if we can like increase their the output by any way we can, I feel it would be better. Good for democracy in our country.
What about you, Jerry?
Nancy, you were going to say something?
Oh.
Yes, I wanted to add on to that. I think it is convenient now more than ever, but some people, we obviously have a lot of things going on in our lives, and I feel like, there could be someone on that same election day wanting to drop off their mail ballot in person or to secure a drop-off location. So I think either way, I think, they should make accommodations for election day.
Especially election night. Like, those 5:30 to 8 classes, like that's the best time to watch. Why have class in that time? I think definitely the night classes.
No, 100%. And it's a Tuesday, so I feel like I know a lot of people that have night classes on Tuesdays. I feel like the two main days of the week, which this may not be true, but I feel like a lot of people have night classes on like Tuesdays and Wednesdays usually. That's whenever most of mine have been. I don't know about anyone else.
Same here, yeah.
Depends on your major. Like, business majors have an entirely different schedule than the rest of the school because they combined our thing with the other FDU. So, like, they make us take classes at the other FDU, and we have to accommodate their ridiculous schedule. So we no longer have Fridays off, and we have Wednesday off instead. It's, like, weird.
That's the way it is for a lot of departments since they like configured them because they configured the comm department also, and that's the way it is. I feel like there aren't a lot of comm classes that are being taught at night this semester though, just in general. Because a lot of the ones that like were taught in the evenings were like basic video production and those things that like you have to do hands-on, and then they got canceled because we can't be in person. But that's the way my schedule is. So I have classes Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday, and I have Wednesday off.
Let me share a couple things. So allow me to bring these up. First, I'll share this from email. Here we go. So this is "50 journalism and political science scholars from 40 universities are coming together to form the Election Coverage and Democracy Network. The initiative will be announced on Wednesday morning." Can somebody look up this while I'm talking about it? Election Coverage and Democracy Network, and see what you can find. I'm told this is from CNN reliable sources, Brian Stelter, who I dearly admire and love, young journalist who used to work for the New York Times and now works for CNN, covering media. And it gives recommendations on how to cover an election and attempts to undermine it, what to do in the case of contested election results, and how to prepare for the possibility of post-election civil unrest. Oh my God, that's frightening. Anybody hit on that?
I'm not seeing anything official when I looked it up.
All right, I'll keep an eye on that and check it out maybe tomorrow. Now, while you're here, I do have a little PowerPoint I'd love to go through if you guys don't mind.
Yeah, that's fine. We'll wrap it up with that then.
All right. Let's talk about college voters. You're getting a preview of Friday's news writing class, Elle, so you can nap while you do it. So they talk about the rise of Gen Z and what that may mean. So first you define Gen Z, voters 18 to 23. They want more government, climate change, racism, economic inequality are the top issues. And they participated greatly in 2018 than previous generations. It's a small part of the electorate. 1/10 of the electorate, but they have power. And this is a series from Wired magazine that are talking about it. Young people have historically voted at lower rates than older people, and whether this generation can figure out in a pandemic is to be determined. Now, going back to 2018, 4.5 million, or 4% of all votes, was from Gen Z age people. And they say that maybe 10% of eligible voters. So this is stuff just to help you guys as you go along. They're talking about this could be a watershed turnout. 156 million people could vote, as opposed to 2016 when 139 came out. So we had 120 in the midterm. The records are in 1908, 65.7% of eligible Americans cast the ballot. Then 2008, 61%. And in 1960, 63%. JFK won. Number of eligible voters increases about 5 million each year. Of interest is some people of color are now approaching a majority of the under 18 population and also constitute most immigrants. Minorities represent a majority of the people who have become eligible to vote since 2016. So in 2016, the census figured that about 2/3 of eligible white voters cast the ballot. African American turnout fell to 59%. That's 2016. That's a sharp decline from Barack Obama. And Latino turnout remained typically modest, 48%. Young people stayed home too. About 46% of eligible voters under 30 turned out, far below those 45 and older. In polling, half of Gen Z said they were absolutely certain to vote in November, compared with 80% of overall registered voters, 1/10 of the electorate. But they're only 4% of likely voters. Come on now, that's y'all. So these are just a little list from MIT of voter turnout: 44% 18 to 30, 62% 31 to 60. And look at the old farts, 60%, 60 and over, 72%. Women turn out at a higher level than men, 65% for white, 60% for black, 45% for Hispanic, 47% Asian American, 46% all others. So that was just a quick briefing. I don't know if you guys have found any value in it, but it's sort of, what do you take away from that? What do you think?
I definitely think that it's interesting to see, like the fact that more women turn out than men is kind of like, that just is interesting to me, as a woman. Wouldn't normally expect that, but it does make sense, especially like with this election coming up and not knowing if a Supreme Court justice is going to be appointed before the election. And with the death of Ruth Bader Ginsburg, I feel like there's a lot of stake if the Supreme Court justice isn't for women to vote. Especially just like talking to people who are my age for the story that we did for your news writing class. I don't know if that like surprised anyone else, but it makes sense to me that number is higher.
Knowing that, what should we do? All the cameras are off. Turn those cameras on, people. Oh, me too. I should eat my dog food, shouldn't I?
I guess especially for our generation, Gen Z, mainly getting like not just only like a majority of people to vote. I know that like we in Greek life there was actually like a voter committee that was done where our president of Inter Greek Council, Juan Lorenzo Martinez, actually like focused on trying to get Greeks registered to vote. And even last night after we had our program for Who's That Baby, he like said, you know, you have until 11:59 to register online, like make sure you're registered. So I think one, like encouraging everyone to get registered was a big thing, which now that deadline is over, at least in New Jersey. I think it's over everywhere for the most part. Actually getting people to like do their mail-in ballot or go out to the polls and like realizing how important it is to make sure that you vote, because even though my mom like isn't a part of our generation, like she just is sick of hearing about the politics and said to me, she's like, I don't even know that I'm going to vote at this point. And I was like, Mom, you need to go vote. You need to do it. But
it depends on their politics.
Our town back home is like very Trump supporting. I grew up in a very like rural farm town in Pennsylvania, and I think she's just tired of listening to my stepdad talk about how great Trump is, because she's like me where she's like more on the liberally minded aspects of things, and she's just over like listening to it.
I think we should do calls to action
Definitely.
on our social media. I think every day we should have a call to action. What do you think, Nania?
I agree.
Even like, I don't know if you've seen that there's a lot of Instagram pages that just like create things that like have like new versions of like the Uncle Sam posters, but it's like to go vote. And like one of them, I don't know who did it, but it was like a band like posed like Uncle Sam and like dressed all in red, white, and blue and was like, go vote. So maybe we do something like that with the Equinox members.
Is there a filter on either Snapchat or Instagram that makes you look like Uncle Sam?
That I do not know.
You know, you can create your own filters.
There might be one on Snapchat because you can like go up through and look through them, and I know there's one on Snap for like the 4th of July.
Amaya, our resident creative, why don't you talk to Cindy, find out about creating a filter on that we could use it either on Instagram, or do you think it's a loser to do Snapchat?
The thing with Snapchat, it's kind of complicated because I mean, I don't know much about filters, but if you want, like, let's say people from FDU to use it, for example, you would need to be in that area in a geolocation where you set that filter, and B, you have to make sure everyone can use it, if I'm not mistaken. Again, I don't know the entire logistics of Snapchat filters. So I would actually say Instagram could be more useful, because then you can tag people to use it and then they can share it from their story and do it themselves.
So let's look into creating an Instagram Uncle Sam filter. I don't think it's be hard. It might be something we can do on Canva and put it on a transparent background and figure that out. And maybe that's what we do, a little viral vote.
And get people to use it and add us on Instagram. I think that could be really fun. It is 9 o'clock, so I do want to wrap this up. We have been here a whole hour. Thank you, Jared, for coming. You kind of got to see like the behind the scenes of the Equinox, which, you know, this is going to go up on our social media as well. But
it was interesting to see.
This is what we do. This is how we brainstorm and think of new things. So.
And thank you, Ashamir, for coming and stopping by.
Thank you, Ashamir, as well.
You guys are awesome, Jared and Ashamir. Thank you for taking an hour of your time to share with us in this time. We a hardworking group. We care about what we do. We care about being the voice of the community and elevating the FDU community. That's what we're here for.